Hello guys, good evening. My name is Theodore Thibodeau. I'm the co-director of Fishes of Bend Texas East Division. We have some exciting news to share with you, so I'll start breaking down the list. Let's get started. First big exciting news is the guaranteed money payout for the 2026 season is going to be $7,000 for the first place winner of the tournament, $3,500 for the second place, and $1,500 for third place. This is guaranteed money regardless of the amount of boats that we have. So $7,000 for first place, $3,500 for second place, and $1,500 for third place guaranteed. And of course, we'll pay down the list like we've always had, according to the number of entries that we have in the tournament. The next bonuses we want to talk about is the same bonuses that we've always done, but we've refined them a little bit. So there's a little bit of a rule change on how the bonuses are going to be paid out. So the first bonus we'll talk about is there's a $500 big bass bonus. That's the big fish of the tournament. Simple there. The next one is we have a $150 male-female, highest placing male-female team, $150 bonus for the highest male-female team that is out of the money, which is different this year. Usually, it's just the highest male-female team, regardless of where they fall. Now, it's the highest male-female team that is out of the money gets the $150 bonus. So if you're not in the regular check payout on the tournament itself, then you get it. So if you have a male-female that places third in the tournament, well, they won't get that bonus. It'll be the first ones out of the money that will get that bonus. Following that same logic, adult junior teams is going to be the same thing. Is the first adult junior team out of the regular payout. Then we have the first team, regardless of what they are, out of the regular payout, will also get a bonus. So you have the $500 big bass bonus, $150 bonus for the first out male-female team, $150 bonus for the first out adult junior team, and $150 for the first out team. And those are standard bonus money. Again, all we did was move where they're going to be paid. It's just fun bonus money. One thing to know, new rule for this year for Texas East. It's a lot of work handling checks. Especially when you get down to the lower checks on the bottom, a lot of people don't stay around. We get it. You're tired. You want to get out of there. So what we'll do is, if you're not there to receive the check, we will hold the check for the next tournament. And if you still don't get the check from us, it's your responsibility to get it from us at the next tournament. If you still don't get it from us, we're gonna donate that back into the ministry. So we're not gonna hold checks or mail checks. So definitely, if you get in the money, stay to receive your check. And if you don't get it, no big deal. We'll have it on the next tournament. On the higher payouts and that sort of stuff, if we need to make arrangements, you can talk to us. But in the most part, try to help us to not have to mail checks. That's the point. All right. Okay, so let's get to a big ticket item. No forward-facing sonar bonus. Now, I said that kind of suspenseful. Let me say it again. We have a bonus if you decide to voluntarily not use your forward-facing sonar. If you decide you want to compete for this bonus money, then that's going to have 3 payouts. So it's worth considering doing a voluntary forward-facing sonar for this tournament. The payouts are going to be first place guaranteed bonus. Now this is bonus money. This money is not coming out of the pot. This is bonus money on top of the pot. So first place bonus money for a non-FFS team is $3,000 guaranteed first place. $1,500 guaranteed second place, and $500 guaranteed third place. So yes, like we said before, the main tournament has a $7,000 first place, a $3,500 second place, and a $1,500 third place guaranteed money. And then the non-FFS bonus is $3,000 first place, 1,500 second place, and 500 third place. Look, I'm having to look at my notes. It's a lot to remember. But that is a significant amount of guaranteed money. Now, the non-FFS bonus it is exactly that. It is a bonus. So if someone decided to voluntarily not use their forward-facing sonar, and let's say they won first place in the whole tournament, they would get $7,000. Then, if they were, didn't use their forward-facing sonar, they would get the $3,000 bonus on top of the $7,000 bonus. So that's what's awesome about this is you can compete with no forward-facing sonar, and it's worth every bit because we have those 3 payouts. So if you believe you're good without it, and you're the best of them without it, you're competing. You're competing for that bonus money. But if you happen to hit a sack, and you're, say, 5th place, and 5th place pays out, whatever it is, you get that bonus plus that 5th place money as well. It's a deal that just, it's awesome. I mean, I don't care how you spend it, it's awesome. It's good for everyone. So the question becomes, well, we get the whole, how are you going to police it? If you're in the fishing industry, we hear it. We verify with Polygraph. Polygraph is the way that we enforce our rules. And I'm going to talk about that in a little bit more. But that's the way we're going to enforce it. Just like everything else, we're going to use Polygraph. But let's talk about the particulars of the rules of how to not get dinged on a polygraph with the no forward-facing sonar bonus. Okay, so the no forward-facing sonar bonus is exactly that. It is a bonus. It is not required. It is your decision of whether or not you want to compete in that manner. In order to be eligible to compete in that manner and to collect the actual money, you must physically disconnect your unit, your transducer from your unit, or your unit from your boat, however you want to do it. But the transducer cannot be connected to your head unit, and it doesn't matter if you're going to leave it off. Physically disconnect the transducer from the unit or the transducer from the black box. We want a physical disconnection point. I say the best way, I use Garmin, and others use, and I have a Humminbird Live as well. I say it that way because, from my knowledge, all units, you should be able to easily disconnect the transducer cable, lay it to the side, and then you still can use your head unit for all its other features. So that's the way you do it. So you disconnect your unit. It has to be disconnected the entire tournament day. Practice doesn't matter. It's from lines in to lines out, the time where you're competing in the tournament, that cable has to be disconnected. I would advise that you would do it the night before. Don't forget, because the last thing you want is, well, I hadn't been looking at it, but it's been plugged in for the last hour, and I just remembered, because you're out of that bonus. Just take yourself out of that bonus if you do that. Physically disconnecting the wire. In fact, on the polygraph, and I'll talk to the polygrapher, but the question's going to be, was your live transducer connected to your graph at any time during the tournament day? Something to that effect. So there you go. We're not going to ask you if you looked at it. If it's not connected, you can't look at it, and there's no way around it. So was your transducer connected? That's what the question is going to be, something of that effect with the polygrapher. So that way you know, and that way you're prepared. But you're more than welcome to use the unit as long as the live transducer is not connected. We are not considering the Mega 360 to be a live sonar, because it's not. We're going to allow, if you have a 360, you can use your 360. That is not violating the rule. You still qualify for the non-forward-facing sonar. It's the live forward-facing sonar that we're after. Now, again, it's brand names. You got the Garmins, you got the Humminbirds. We're not getting caught up in that. You know what we're talking about. It's the live forward-facing sonar, and we are not going to classify the 360 as a live sonar. So if you have that, you can use it. That's not part of the deal. Now the way we're going to do this, and guys, we're going to try it because, look, this hasn't been done. I know no one else that's trying this, so this hasn't been done. So Y'all gonna have to give us a little grace on this, but what our plan is, and if this changes, we'll notify you at the tournament. But our plan is obviously you know the rules of how to qualify to be eligible for that bonus. You have to have it not plugged in for the entire tournament day. When you get to weigh in, when you get to the bump takes, and you're asked your boat number, that is the time you must declare that you are non-forward facing sonar eligible. Maybe we could come out with a quicker terminology because that's a lot of words. But you got to declare it. We'll refine that system. But basically, my hope is that when we say, what is your boat number? Are you non-FFS? But whether you're asked or not, it is the angler's responsibility at that time before the fish hits the scales to tell us that you're in that money so that we can put a mark on the list so we can go back and know. Guys, this is not easy to track and remember who's in that and who's not to make sure we pay the right people. So we have to put a little responsibility on the angler. So that's where it's going to be. When you hit the bump take and you're asked your boat number, that's when it needs to be declared. And we're going to refine that, so work with us. So let's recap the highlights that we've covered so far. The first one is the main tournament payout, $7,000 first place guaranteed, $3,500 second place guaranteed, $1,500 third place guaranteed on the main tournament payout. Non-FFS bonus, transducer must be physically disconnected from the head unit, and the payout's going to be first place, $3,000 bonus, second place, $1,500 bonus, third place, $500 bonus. That's what we got so far. Let's move on. The next really big announcement that I have is that we're going to allow high school fishing teams to compete in our team tournament with some exceptions. This is something I'm excited about. This is something I've been talking to the nationals about. This is something that we're adopting nationally. So the way this is going to work is if you have high school teams, which would mean two, high school anglers and one boat captain. So that's 3 people in a boat. We're going to allow them to compete like they would be a team, but the special rules for that is that only 2 can fish at a time. Now, we're saying it that way because if the 2 high school kids want to fish, they can fish. Or if, one of the high school kids, they want to swap up with the captain and he can fish. If anyone that's going to fish in the boat has to have a membership, and there are some family memberships, and all that information is going to be available probably the next couple of days. That rule edition is going to hit the national site, and you can kind of go through exactly and more details of how that's going to happen. But for what's important today is that if you fish high school tournaments and you have a high school team and you're looking for somewhere else to fish, we're welcome you to come in and to compete in this tournament just like any other team, but you can only have 2 people fishing at a time in the boat. And guys, for what we do, this benefits all of it. We're thinking that this will, we don't know what it's going to produce, but we're thinking that there's the possibility that this will start producing more numbers of entries, and more numbers of entries increase payout overall. And then also, look, we're a family values Christian ministry, and we want more youth and more young people to be part of what we do. And we think this is a great way to get more young people involved, get them to come. We see no real disadvantage to anyone else that they would be doing that. And it pushes up the pot for everybody, and it makes it, the same. And just like, any other, rule that seems complicated, we verify with polygraph, so it's, there's always going to be a level of, somebody could be doing something, but it's just like any other rule. We can't watch every little thing, but we polygraph, and we do that, and we're going to do more at random with polygraphs. So high school teams are allowed to fish in our classic series with everyone else, with the exemption that with the understanding that only 2 can fish at a time, and those entries are allowed. More rules and details of rules for that will be on the national site in the rules. That's being updated as we speak. While we're discussing the national rule changes, there's a couple of things coming down the pipe that we need to be aware of and we need to tighten up on. Look, guys, you all see what's happening in the fishing industry, and this is reflective of that. But for 2026, we have a new liability waiver that you're signing and agreeing to when you'll become part of this thing and get your membership. That's going to be updated, and you're gonna be agreeing to that, which covers a lot of things that we've seen in other tournament organizations where people are not following local and state rules, and they're not keeping things tight, and they're not being safety voters, and a tournament organization cannot be responsible for every single person that fishes in there. So there is a liability waiver that's part of our rules, and that you will see this year when you start signing up for everything. And then the emphasis is on the boater license. A lot of states are requiring boater license, especially at a certain age. We encourage everybody that can to get a license or take some time, some type of training or some self-study if you're not required to have a boater's license. But if you are required to have a boater's license and you don't have it when you fish in any of our events, you are breaking state and federal laws, and that is grounds for disqualifications. Just like anything else, our rules have always stated that you must follow local and federal laws, state and federal laws when it comes to the fishing regulations. That has always been in place. Guys, it's time for y'all to check your insurances. We have insurance requirements. Let's check y'all stuff. Y'all see what's happening out in the fishing industry. We want y'all to be safe. We do the best we can, but obviously it's beyond our control most of the time. So we got to put some of this onus on the anglers yourself. Y'all need to follow the rules, and y'all need to get your insurances, and y'all need to have y'all proper licenses is what y'all doing. We also have another bonus that I failed to mention earlier. We have a $500 big bass bonus, $150 male-female bonus, $150 adult junior bonus, $150 first out of money bonus. But we also have, new to this year, sponsored by Pro Fishing Trips. They decided to sponsor this. We're doing $150 for the smallest 5-fish limit. So we've always done the smallest bag bonus. Now it's going to be, you have to have 5 fish in the bag, and then the smallest one of those bags wins $150, and that payout is actually sponsored by Pro Fishing Trips. Okay, the next significant announcement is that the new SRA boat ramp on the Texas side in the mouth of Palo Gaucho, that ramp is nearing completion. We will start running all of our Toledo Bend tournaments out of that new ramp that's located in Palo Gaucho, which is a new SRA ramp. I'll get the address and post some stuff for you later. But that ramp, as far as I've been told, it's hard to believe, but as far as I've been told, that ramp is going to be ready to go. So we're going to hold our first February tournament out of that ramp at the new ramp, which is a beautiful location, very big, made for what we do. And going forward, this is going to be our permanent home unless something crazy comes up. For all of our Toledo Bend tournaments, we'll be out of the new SRA ramp on the Texas side in the mouth of Palo Gaucho. Pretty much a permanent change. So I'll get you the address, because the address just hadn't had an address before. But a lot of you know where it's at. But you may want to go ride and check it and find it and see where it's at. It's a beautiful place. They're setting it up well. We're excited to have it. It's just going to make our whole deal. We have all the room in the world to grow. That we can run tournaments as big as these things want to go. We have the place to do it. That's been a great thing. Thank you to the Sabine River Authority for this. And as we wrap this up, I wanted to briefly talk to you guys about the polygraphs. Look, polygraphs are not a perfect tool, but it's the best tool that we have. And you're agreeing to the polygraph test, and you're agreeing to the results of the polygraph test when you come. However, the polygraph, for those of you that are not out there trying to cheat, you don't have nothing to worry about with the polygraph test. Look, the thing is the reason why we do the polygraph test is to give some legitimacy to our tournament that's this size. But look, guys, I don't want to say that things like kill switches and life jackets and any of these things are not important, because they absolutely are. And violating any of those things is a rule violation. But there is, we understand that there is a vast difference from forgetting to put a kill switch in while you back the boat into the water, versus tying some fish into a buoy offshore somewhere. That's a vastly different thing. So you can lose the anxiety over it. Don't make it such a big deal. We're going to dial these things in. And in fact, I've even talked to our polygrapher that we use, our main guy, and one of these days I'm gonna get him on a podcast where he can talk more about that. I'd love to do it. It's just to find the time to do it. So a quick recap. First place, guaranteed $7,000 in 2026. Second place, guaranteed $3,500 in 2026. And third place, guaranteed $1,500. That's 3 places guaranteed money in this tournament. And then the no forward-facing sonar optional bonus is $3,000 for first place, $1,500 for second place, and $500 for third place. Guys, if you did the math on the tournament entries and figured out what the payout is, it's well over 150%. You can't do this if it wasn't a ministry and we had wonderful people supporting us as a ministry to make this what it is. This is far more about a winning pot and that sort of thing with people. Our tournament by far is the best paying tournament that I know of or even heard of. So guys, don't miss it. Y'all come see what we have to offer. So much more than a check at a boat ramp. Hope y'all had a good time with this video. See you soon.